Well, I don't know about you, but I saw some stutter in that opening.
Uh-huh.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
We might be having some technical difficulties, so let us know if everything's okay on your end. Or at least tell Mander, because Mander wants to know. Don't you, Mander?
Lucy also wants to know.
Lucy, do you want to know, girl? I mean, it's possible it's on my end, but only because I'm running beta software on this phone. It's either do that or watch it blow up every 20 minutes. They must have hired some people from Microsoft over there. Those are the people who know how to make software blow up.
Yeah, well, as I called it, it's the new iCrash. IO crash.
A new IO crash, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's good
They
that
should
Pippa
hire
isn't.
me for
They
marketing.
should. It's just good that Pippa isn't in here. She wouldn't want to hear us disparaging Apple, but
I don't do. Pippa must be proud of me. I'm dealing with Swift UI at the moment.
you're dealing with what?
Swift UI, the user interface for Swift.
Oh, Swift. Yeah, Swift. I just didn't hear the first part. Swift UI,
Swift
which is
UI, yes.
I played with it for a while. It's definitely easier to program in that language, and it usually gives you a good result. What are you doing? Easy to debug too.
Mm-hmm.
Not like this boy. He wasn't easy to debug because we were given a false bug about him. Told that he had a bad back, and he actually has a bad pelvis. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
difference. That's the problem with humanity. So much mendacity. Right? Yeah, that is right. Actually, he was telling me to continue petting him. He was giving me his no. His body language, yes. Yeah, see, that's yes. And the other one is no. How he got them backwards, I don't know, but he does understand them. No means yes, and yes means no. Shaking the head. I stopped petting him, and he did the no thing. No, don't stop petting me. Don't stop petting me, he says. Right, Mander?
Mm. So let's say hi to our chatters. So Natalie and James are here. Then Tiki Tiki is here and Falcon's here. So hello and welcome to all the chatters and also to all the viewers who watch right now or later in the day.
Hello, baby, babies. Hello, bird lovers. Mander, do you like bird lovers? Mander says he loves lovers as long as they don't have on baseball caps or hoodies, yeah, or they're carrying a beer.
Can he distinguish between beer and Red Bull, or is everything bad? Or what is in a can?
He's not too concerned about cans. It's the beer bottles he doesn't like.
Okay.
So
And
it could.
when a lemonade bottle looks quite like a beer bottle,
Then you're going to get the same response. Yeah.
okay. I just wonder.
So if you've got some of that good Australian ginger beer, which isn't really beer, but if you have some of the good Australian Bundaberg, you got to be careful because he'll come after you.
Oh,
And that's
Amanda.
body language everybody can understand. When you see a cruise missile that happens to look like a Moluccan cockatoo, well, you must be holding something or wearing something that he doesn't like. Oh, he looks so docile. He runs away from everything. He doesn't run away from beer bottles. Mm-mm. He shows his aggressive side. A Hannibal Lecter in him. Mander, Mander. Yeah. Yeah, shake your head. Don't stop petting you. I know. We have with us today, I have to try to switch the camera one-handed, so I'll probably screw up. We have Lorelei, baby girl. Lorelei, baby girl. Baby girl.
Hi, Lorelei.
And I'm trying to do this one-handed while I pat him up there. We have Sugarbird. And that one over there who hasn't opened the cage door, she was bugging Mander going after him. And you know how he is, he runs
Oh,
away.
she's
So
actually in timeout and has not put herself in it.
no, and she can get out. I didn't lock it, but she's not doing that.
Oh, fun girl. When the aunties bottle Mander. Hmm? So Jocelyn Trigger's here with us. Welcome, Jocelyn.
Hi, Jocelyn. Come on, girl. You can come out. Come on, Jasmine. She says the door is closed. Yeah, you can open it. Pretty song. A pretty song.
We have a question from Natalie and James. Is my cockatoo as an older one supposed to want to sleep on rainy days? Or are older cockatoos just more sleepy?
Hmm. Uh, it varies between birds. So if it's rainy and dark outside and the light in the house is dim somewhat, they might try to sleep more. If I turn a light on in here, which I forgot to do, it tends to make them more active. Well, come on. Come on, Jasmine. Well, come on. Well, come on. Well, come on out. Come on, Jazz. Come on. Come here. Don't give me that look. Why, I'm not going to get up to open the door for you. It's open. Jasmine. Oh, jeez. Lucy, do you believe this? I have to get up to open the door for her. It's all Lorelai doesn't like it when you get up. That's why I was hesitating. The door is open. I didn't lock it. But do you want the door closed? Jasmine. She doesn't want out. Wants to stay in the timeout cage. Wake up, Lucy. 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 Hello, Lucy. Hey, Luce. I toss a twig at you and toss another one. Lorelei. Well, that's the long way around. You silly bird. That's the long way around.
Silly girl.
What are you doing up there?
That cute
Hmm?
little face. So that's good. She's having that face because we can read more chatters. We have Giselle Loves New York here and Calvin Thurston joined us. So
Say
hello.
hello. Lorelei, say hello. I know she can say hello. She was copying Chloe the first time she said it at the Renaissance Fair because Chloe was getting all the attention. So Chloe was just saying her usual hello. And then Lorelei said it first time. Right, Lorelei? Yeah. You're not supposed to tell your secrets, you know? Silly girl. So, what we're supposed to talk about today is the secret language of parrots. And it's secret because I don't know how many of you've probably watched shows where they have a sign language interpreter there, and they're showing, while somebody is speaking, the sign language interpreter is turning spoken word into action. Well, these guys, the majority of what they say is in body language. So that's what you have to learn to read. They do talk, and it's usually in context. So that's helpful in some circumstances, but most of what they say is through body language. So whether you realize it or not, they're always talking. I mean, if you look at Lucy, her body language is saying, I'm taking the time out. She has the feathers around her head fluffed slightly. Her primaries are pulled in. I'm talking about you. You can tell that, right? That's typical. You can tell it. So she's breathing slowly. That's another thing you can look at too, is sometimes they'll look like they're sleeping, but their breathing is going at a normal pace, which means they're just resting, not trying to sleep. As my dad used to say when he was sleeping in the lounge chair, I'm just resting my eyes. And again, this one over here, Sugars, she's actually kind of on the sleep side, so her face feathers are puffed out a bit, primaries are pulled in. Remander is being active. He wants to be petted. His head is down. That's a sign in his case that he wants to be petted. His eyes are round, which means he's relatively contented. But there's a lot of things that you can see in their body language. And The feathers, the eyes, the crest, the wings. If you've got a bird that isn't a cockatoo, it'll be the pinning eyes. When you see those pupils dilate, which may be part of the reason that true parrots they're a little more jumpy than cockatoos. Because if you could do that with the iris of your eye, the whole world would seem to jump around quite a bit. Right? Right, big boy? Yeah. Now the body language is he thinks I've stopped getting ready to stop petting him, so he's pointing away from me. Of course, it also could be trying to capture my attention. So I'll pet him a little more.
So Elena
Right?
just joined us in the chat. She says my little chick has been going completely mental, but now she's finally past that. So we're happy you're here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you definitely named her right. Sunny is a good name for her. She's definitely thinks the sun's out all the time. So busy, busy child.
Natalie and James would like to know if beak pets are okay when she does them to her parrot.
For short durations. It can lead to bonding, so you don't want to do it terribly long. If you're already bonded to a parrot, like I am with Sugar, then there's no harm in doing it as long as they don't start acting like they want to mate. Sugar doesn't ever do that, so that's not a problem with her. But it is one of the areas you're supposed to be careful with. Basically, you don't want to touch the beak for terribly long. You can pet the back of the head for 5 minutes. That's okay. The neck up here is fine. This is all preening area, okay? So other birds will preen them. If you get below here, this is all area they can reach. So if you start petting here and you're not bonded to a bird, you're going to start causing that bond to form, and you don't really want to do that. Because if you don't know what you're doing, what could happen is no one else in the house will be able to pet them. That doesn't mean you can't fix it, but without without tools, you can't do it. It's like driving. I'm trying to think of driving is probably not a good example. Can't think of a good analogy for it, but that's the area you want to limit petting the beak. The same with the feet. You don't want to pet the feet too much. You can do a little bit of it, but don't do a lot of it. You're going to deal with the head. You're going to mostly deal with this area, and then you're still going to limit yourself to 5 minutes. Now, I've been doing him a lot longer than that, but a receptive mood for anything except preening right now. So, how do I know that? It's because I know how to read his body language. And it would be nice if all of them had the same body language, but they don't because they weren't raised in a flock. So they have different body language. Some things are similar, some things are the same. When you see the feathers on the back of the neck go up, that's irritation. Okay, unless the whole body's doing it, then it's not. But if you just see these feathers go up on any parrot, be careful because they're not happy with what's going on. So that's a visible sign. When they put their wings out all the way out and kind of get big, that's usually 9 times out of 10, that's a display showing, see how beautiful I am? Wouldn't I make a great mate? Is basically what they're saying there. But sometimes, like with her, she'll do that. She'll get her face feathers out and the feathers she'll have her crown up and all the feathers on her body standing out with her wings way out. And she's saying, get away from Don. Stay away from him. I own him. And she's serious when she does that too. She looks beautiful when she does it, but she's serious. Again, you may see another bird do just what she's doing or pretty close to it, and it'll be a different signal. So you have to learn individually the different birds' signals. But with a cockatoo, if their crest goes up, that's always excitement of one kind or another. It can be, oh, wow, look at that. I want that piece of watermelon. Or it can be, oh, that person's a problem. They better stay away. Or it can be, oh, that noise surprised me. Anything that causes excitement. You'll see the same reactions in a macaw's eyes. Any parrot where they show their emotions by flashing their eyes, you'll see the same kind of thing. Yeah, I took a class in sign language years ago, and one of the things a deaf person was saying to me is that most talk people who are with people who are who hear it. I can't speak here. Hearing people tend to say about 90% of things that are unnecessary, and so they basically don't listen. The ones who can read lips, that kind of thing, they don't listen to all of it. They I say most of what you hear. In fact, when they've come up with ways where children are born deaf, and if they're born deaf to deaf parents and it's genetic, they have ways of fixing that. Most deaf parents, they don't bother. They don't want it fixed because what hearing people say is not worth hearing. Um, Part of the reason for that is we don't understand the body language of parrots terribly well because we'll say one thing with our body while we're saying something different from our with our mouth. So we may say, "I want to go with you to the mall," but we're turning away and pointing our body back towards our house as we're standing outside of it. Well, any deaf person would say, "Oh, this person's lying." And they can see those cues where we don't normally notice that. But if someone is telling you they want to go with you, but they're pointing their body back to the house, they're lying. Now they may not know they're lying. They may think that they think that they want to do it, but if they're pointing themselves back to the house, they don't. So I learned a lot by taking sign language, and that I learned that discount most. Well, my dad used to say, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. So, but they're honest with their body language. Mostly. I've got to say mostly because Bob is not necessarily honest with his body language.
So Triton's a little deceiver.
He is crafty.
I
He
I
will,
haven't listened completely because I was writing an answer in the chat. But yeah, I wonder often that maybe actually most of the people signal when it comes to body language and everything they transmit is something completely different to the actual content of what they are saying. Even the way they are saying or so, just nothing fits.
Mhm.
And now it's gone. Now it's
Yeah.
back.
With Bob, you look at him, he's all calm, he's playing with wood, but what he's actually doing is he's waiting for you to turn your head because he thinks there's something in your pocket he wants.
Mm.
And so if you turn your head away or you get involved in with another bird that's having an issue when you're out in the aviary, because I can't bring it in here with another bird, but well, I can, but there's a chance that somebody's going to be bloody if I do. So he'll just he'll start sneaking his head in your pocket to steal something. And he's just waiting for the moment. This
Mm.
is another sneaky one here too. Aren't you,
All right.
Lorelei? She'll
Mm.
get up on your shirt and she'll give you all the body language that she's just calmly sitting there. And then the next thing you'll notice that all the buttons on your shirt are gone.
Sneaky.
And if she's holding a button and she sees you seeing her do that, she breaks the button so you can't put it back on the shirt. Don't you? Don't you? No? Don't know where I lie? The big nut. Oh, I got a sliver in my finger. That never happens. Oh, bear with me a second. Let's see if I can get that sliver out. There we go. Um, One hazard of having wood around you all the time is you end up with slivers. Right, Lorelai? So basically, what you're looking at when you're looking for communication, each bird being a little different, but the basics are, is if they're going to sleep, their eyes are going to be oval. So that's, but if they're wide awake and their eyes become oval, that usually means it's like you squinting at something. That can't be right. Okay. And that's kind of the feel you get from them when they have their eyes like that. It's something they don't, I don't like this. It's so when they get their eyes in an oval shape, beware. It's something they don't like. If they're looking at you that way, try to think what you've done. Did you show up with the wrong color hair? Did you put nail polish on or something? What is it that they're giving you that look for? Normally, they will have an oval eye when they're fully awake. Excuse me, they'll have a round eye. They have an oval eye when they're awake and disgruntled about something. If they have an oval eye and the feathers are up on the back of the neck, just these feathers. And if they also have an open beak and they're leaning forward, well, that should tell you something. If you can't figure that one out yourself, you're in trouble, right, Lorelai? Right, Lorelai? Lorelai.
Oh, hmm. Let's see. We have one question. What is considered? Where are you allowed to pet your bird? And especially when it comes to can you just cuddle the bird, or when does the bird seem to think it's a mating approach?
Well, with cuddling, I'm going to preface this with my usual proviso. Do what I say, not what I do. So if I say, try not to cuddle your bird for more than 5 minutes, and then you see me with Lorelei on my chest for 20 minutes, don't think that's license for you to do the same. Once you have established a relationship and you understand the rhythm, I'm sorry, Lorelei, preened too close there. You understand the rhythms of your bird, and I mean truly understand the majority of it, then you can start to relax those rules. But the rules are there for a reason. Okay, so don't cuddle for more than 5 minutes. Don't pet the beak for more than 5 minutes. Basically, 5 minutes on any activity, petting their head, cuddling. So don't pet their head for 5 minutes, then cuddle them for 5 minutes, and then pet their feet. You're asking for trouble. Don't pet them down the back. You'll see me do it on occasion. But again, I didn't take all these classes that I took. And then work with these birds all this time, so that I would just have to deal with things like an average person. I can get around some of this by understanding a bird. This one considers me more of a father bird figure. So in strictly during mating season, I have to be careful. I cannot pet her for more than a minute in mating season because she'll just start vibrating. Anyone giving her attention, she'll sometimes do it just when you look at her. But once mating season is over, and that varies for every bird, especially the ones that are equatorial, like Lorelei. Um, right now, I can pet her a lot, and it won't really affect her. Will it, girl? But she does see me more as a father figure, a father bird figure. That's why you'll see her in there when there's no boys, except for the honorary Mander, who's an honorary girl, aren't you? Aren't you an honorary girl? This is now. Nope. So basically, you're restricted to. Let me switch the camera angle here. Um, basically, you're restricted to the head for the majority of what you do. If you're petting down the back, you're asking for a problem. If you're petting their tail, shame on you. You won't see me do that. Maybe once in a while my hand will glide over that area, but I don't pet the tail. That's a big no-no. Right, Sugar? Lucy Bird.
So Jocelyn tells us that obviously April has changed her hairstyle and now her birds are mad at her. Yeah, I see.
Well, you don't see me changing my hairstyle. I can't get rid of the beard or Bob will kill me. And that's probably close to what he would do too. He would try to tear my eyes out.
Mhm.
So if you're going to change something like your hairstyle or the way, or drastically change the way you look, and you have a parrot, why? Why are you going to do that? You're just going to irritate the parrot and cause trouble. So just adopt a certain look and stick with it, at least while you're around your bird. Right, Lorelai?
Yep.
Don't
So
yawn,
when you get your
Lorelai.
bird in your 20s, better with 80 you still look like that. I'm just kidding. Would be
Miss.
it's just a funny idea. The bird is like, oh, you get wrinkles, fight.
Yeah, well, I hope that doesn't happen because, as you get older, you're going to get those wrinkles. The slow changes like that don't just seem to bother them much, but when you get into major changes that happen quickly, like going from brown hair uh, or going from black hair to really funny looking red hair, you thought you could bleach your own hair. Um, that's going to set them off. What in the world's wrong with you? They'll think you're sick. You guys are so exciting today. Even you, Lorelai. Jasmine.
I'm not sure when Eleanor, if she has already got it, that Jasmine. Oh no, she's already out. No, she's still in um, timeout. But actually, this time she was put in by Don since she annoyed Mander.
Yeah. Jasmine. Oh,
Nobody
she
puts
left.
her in timeout unless it's
Yeah.
herself.
Yeah. I don't know if she's upset that I put her in there or why. Why she hasn't come out. She does like to sit in there, but
Maybe she doesn't like to be put by you in it.
no, well, three times I tried moving her away from him and she just kept moving back. So I said, okay, I'll put you in here for a bit.
Mm. Yeah, Eleanor says jailbird Jasmine. Yep, that's her.
She'll be active later, though. She got used to the idea of getting active later in the day, and then I switched it around so Lorelai's out earlier. She'll start to get active, and she'll go KK's over there. And KK just doesn't like pink. He's the opposite of Snowball. He doesn't want
Mhm.
the pink birds around, so he'll tolerate them about 2 feet of distance. Get much closer than that, and he'll start getting aggressive, territorial. Right, Mander? So if you misread signs from a bird, you think, oh, that's cute, especially with Sugar. Oh, look how cute she looks with all of her feathers like that. And then she's making that sound. It sounds like it comes from from one of the dinosaurs from before the meteor hit. And they're, oh, that's so cute. Yeah, yeah. Rattlesnake sounds cute too, right? Um, if you misread a sign, it could. She's never bitten anyone, but if they were a definite challenge to her relationship with me, she would. I'm sure, fairly sure. Most of them would in that situation, right, Mander? He says, "I don't know. I'm a social outcast." You're a social outcast over there, buddy. Huh?
He just has really trouble to make friendships, especially with other birds.
Now you'll see birds fluff up, like she's fluffing her head, but there you go. She's fluffing right there. That look right there is a fluffed bird. She just did a rouse, but it's usually that's when they're comfortable. But if they're like that all day long, their feathers just slightly out like that with their wings hanging down a little bit, they're probably not feeling good. So context is important. If you see a bird that's fluffing during the day here or there, and it sits on the perch and looks a little sleepy, that's fine. But if they're getting down, if they're moving down towards the bottom of the cage and they're fluffed, well, that's go to the vet. Now with cockatoos when they fluff out, you'll find in books it'll say fluffy feathers and the around the beak is defensive or aggressive. That's not true with cockatoos. Generally, when they do that, that's just the opposite. But some of the books will say that's aggression. Yeah, it's aggression in a Amazon, but in a cockatoo, if it was aggression, she'd be pretty aggressive right now. You'd have to wake her up though to get her attention if she was gonna bite. There's another one with the fluffed up feathers around the beak, and he's not being aggressive. So the books say that, but they're mostly talking about the true parrots, the non-cockatoos. I don't know why they call them true parrots. Cockatoos are a little different, that's for sure. A lot different, right, Lorelei? Right, Lorelei? Right, Lorelei? Are you different? Are you different? Hmm. So if you have a cockatoo, someone was talking about petting before, this is the way you would normally pet a cockatoo for, depending on the bird, depending on its reaction, from 3 to 5 minutes. And then you'd give them a break for at least five, and then you could go back to it. Right, Lorelei?
Um, we have a question from Falkese. She would like to know that you give a quick update on Cecil.
Sure. He's definitely responding to the Onsior. His breathing does not seem to be as much of a problem. His chest is still a little tight, so it's going to take a while for any organ enlargement to reduce. But his breathing is more relaxed. His weight's going up, so if he keeps going up in weight, he's going to top out over Manders soon. His weight isn't that far from Mander. Mander's around 900, and Cecil's what, 784 at his last, right, Sugar? So he's definitely getting better. And I'm getting better at giving injections. It's you have to warm the medicine and then make sure it's not cold. You don't want to shoot in cold medicine. That's really startling. So, and then you have to have the needle with the open side. It's beveled, so the beveled side goes up, and then you have to put it in about a half an inch and pull back on it to make sure you're not drawing any blood. You got to learn to do that with your little finger and the finger next to it. I'm better at. I mean, I could do it from the beginning, but I'm starting to become a regular pro at it because I have to do it every 3 days now, twice every 3 days. He's definitely improving. He's not as tired as he was getting. I would see him in his cage and he would not be active, which is not like him. But now he's getting much more active, and it's only been a short time, so those are all good signs. The sad part about this is that you pretty much have to keep them on the drug. And from the latest guidance I got, they need to get it 3 times a week for the first 6 months. And then, depending on the symptoms, which in his case means x rays again, or if we were in a more advanced country, CT scans. And then, based on that, you decide whether you're going to go to every 5 days, and you can do that for 3 more months. And then, if it's still looking good, you can go to once a month, and then keep your eye on them because if they start to show symptoms again, then you have to put them back on the every 3 days. And that's pretty much for life. You can look at it because it is an autoimmune disease. Look at it like AIDS patients. They don't go on the drug and get off of it. They go on drugs and they're on them for the rest of their lives. That's pretty much the way it works. Autoimmune diseases are tough. So sorry, Lorelai, the big nut. Cosmo's got most of her vision back. I was outside. I was blowing out the air filters, which I have to do every 2 days, and I forgot to take that mask off because I mean it gets like Christmas out there when I'm doing that, and with all the dust in the air. And I came back on, and I still had the mask on, and from about 3 feet away, Cos looks at me all startled and jumps back, and I went, "You can see me, huh, Cos?" She wouldn't have reacted before because it would have all just been a giant blur to her. So she's definitely getting better from the medicine. And of course, she's been on it longer than he has. So Cause had also stopped talking. And I thought maybe she just didn't want to say hi cockatoo anymore. But I think it may have affected her, the nerve that helps her make sounds because she really doesn't make sounds anymore. So I'm hoping she gets her vocalizations back.
Excellent. We also have a discussion about how long a bird should sleep. I think it was Giselle who discovered that her bird um, feels better when it sleeps a little bit more. And Natalie says she heard about 10 hours, but isn't sure if that's enough.
Well, they try to say 12, but I have some doubts about that because they can sleep during the middle of the day by shutting down one hemisphere at a time, and they're never completely asleep, even in the middle of the night when there's no light, and they don't see in the dark. So when, with the exception of that one night parrot they finally found again, um, they don't see in the dark. So I don't think it's as critical as everybody says it is. because they can shut down and go to sleep and still be alert. And they're always to some degree on alert because, snakes in trees and things like that, they can't afford to be ever completely shut down. But I don't know. I don't think anyone has a good answer. They're making guesses.
Mm.
And I always get a kick out of how they say that the light cycles affect the mating season. Yeah, how do they do that on the equator?
Yeah, that's the thing. When it comes to that, it's basically bogus. But when it comes to how much sleep they need, it might also depend a little bit from bird to bird and
Mhm.
how the bird is like, and if the bird is napping a lot during the day and therefore doesn't need as much night sleep. So it's probably something you should mess around with a bit and see if it affects your bird and if you allow him to sleep a bit longer, or yeah, he can stay longer awake but therefore sleeps longer in the morning, and that kind of things, how the bird reacts to it when you have the feeling the sleep cycle of your bird isn't well right now.
And with the birds I have here, with most of them, 10 of them being on haloperidol, which has about a 10-hour lifespan in their body, it I can't let them sleep for 12 hours. They need to get their medicine after 10. So they're up longer, but if they need to rest, they'll go find a perch and they'll sit on it and they'll rest. Unlike humans, right? Humans are like, I gotta stay awake. I gotta stay awake. Especially the little ones, the babies are like, I gotta stay awake so I can bother my mother. Steal the iPhone, run off with the
Maybe
iPad.
until you're 25, and then napping is the best you can do.
I could use more sleep, but I can't get it. But what I will do is I'll be in here with birds and let me take a nap, and I'll take a nap. Can't do that with Bob. Bob will find something to destroy if you do. So,
Mhm.
but with this crew, they would let me. Mander wants to get petted though. He won't care if I'm sleeping. He'll come over and nudge my hand. Right, Mander? Mander. Mander bird. You'll also see them when they are a little tired. eh, whatever the situation is, they will grind their beaks. It also seems to be something that they do when they're they're being peaceful, but usually I will watch a bird. If it grinds its beak, it will be within 5 minutes, it will have its eyes closed. So I know some of the books say that beak grinding is just a sign of being calm, but to me it's more like a signpost that they're about ready to take a nap. And at night it can get pretty loud. I did this once. I have a recording of it, but I actually just turned the lights off and stayed in the room and had a recorder on. And I recorded, it was about 10 minutes of just really intense beak grinding by all the birds. I actually tried to give that sound to a podcast. It's a science podcast where they try to get you to guess a sound. I don't really like that segment all that much, but they had no interest in playing it. Nobody could have got that, but a bunch of cockatoos grinding their beak.
Hmm.
So that's one thing they do. Sometimes usually when you see a bird tapping, or they come up and tap on you, that's a mating kind of behavior. But sometimes they're just trying to get your attention. Once in a while, it'll be a warning something's wrong. Um, that's more common with true parrots than cockatoos. Usually, cockatoos don't tap on you to warn you, but other ones like Amazons will. Um, if you've got a bird with an open beak, it's either trying to climb over on you. They don't have arms, so they use their beaks, or it may be too warm. If it gets too warm, they'll open their beaks. They can't cool down that way, but they do it anyway. So if you're outside with a bird when it's relatively hot, say 80 degrees, 85 is about the maximum I will take a bird outside. But if they've got that beak open, and especially if they're holding their wings a little apart, then just take them back inside. That's a way of telling you I'm too hot. Also can be a sign of illness. So if you've got a bird that has their beak open all the time during the day and they don't close it, best go to the vet. Maybe you'll have a little more luck. We have a good vet here, but she is so busy that trying to get an appointment. I have an appointment for Cecil to get gram stains, which I don't really believe are useful. So I didn't argue with it. It's a month. It's not until next month. And if he actually had something like aspergillosis, he'd be dead before he got the gram stains. It's just. But it's not easy to get in to see some vets. So. And considering that's just about 5 minutes, take a swab and you're done. I will probably end up canceling that appointment. So I don't know if he doesn't show any signs in his discharge, in his droppings, that there's any kind of problem with his digestion, which is unusual because he does show an enlarged proventriculus. So, what do you think? Do you know over there? Do you know? Amanda, are you our oracle? You look at their bodies, and if they're stretched out towards you, they may want to be held. That's a good example, right? They may want to be held. Um, if they're birds that like to get sprayed with water, they may be asking for a bath. That happens. Peaches used to do that. She would stretch as much as she could to indicate she wanted to get sprayed. Pippa does that when she sees me come around with the sprayer boy. She will stretch herself really long to get over to the water. So will Romeo. But just watch them. Watch your birds and learn those signals. Some of them are common to all the species that you're dealing with, and some of them are just unique. Like with his head shaking, no meaning yes, and yes meaning no. It's what he learned, and that's how he does it. I ask him if he wants to come out, and he nods up and down. That means no, he doesn't want to come out. He wasn't too thrilled about it today, but I coaxed him. I try every time to coax him, but you had a good morning, haven't you, so far, big boy? Huh? You got petted? You haven't been hassled except by Jasmine, and she's over there in jail. So self-imposed jail, but she's in jail. Now you'll see tail wagging, and that is usually a sign. There's a couple of reasons for it, but it can be a sign of contentment. Um, they're satisfied by something. When she gets done with preening herself, she will usually wag her tail like she's happy at the end. I got it all done. I'm just gonna wag her tail at her. Can also be part of a mating display. When a male fans their tail, you better stop petting them. or a female, if you pet them and they start vibrating, then it's definitely time to stop petting them. Now you'll see birds will bob their head up and down when they're really excited sometimes. Cause is good about that. But if you're watching a bird and they're just sitting there and their head's just kind of going up and down while they're breathing, that's probably a respiratory issue. But
So
definitely,
Natalie and James have a little, well, one cannot say problem with the cockatoo, but the cockatoo doesn't like spray downs, and he will only shower with Natalie, but not with James. So is there a way to train him that he showers alone?
there's always a way, but with each bird, it's a
Definitely.
little different. Um, Usually, you have to pair it with a reinforcer. So they don't like to get sprayed down. You can walk over with a sprayer and then give them a treat. And then, just like every day, walk over and give them a little treat while you show them the sprayer, and then you get closer with the sprayer, and then, give them a treat until finally you hit them one time with a little spray and you give them a treat. And then, next time you spray twice and you give them a treat. You can do that. So by giving them that reinforcer, you can make it more pleasurable for them. Romeo, I mean, he absolutely was afraid of having any kind of a spray bottle pointed at him. And I know the veterinary hospital he came from, they mistreated birds with spray bottles. So, but now if you walk up to him with a spray bottle, boy, he's right on it. He gets right up to the cage. And I did it pretty much that way. Just, bring over a little treat, fill him the spray bottle, give him the treat, and just keep working, baby steps until you get there. It's unnatural for them not to like to get wet. So, well, folks, thanks for being here. Amy, thanks for moderating. And
It's a pleasure. Thanks for showing us the birds. Eleanor was helping in chat.
thank you, Eleanor, for helping in chat. She's got that toddler that's running, or it's crawling around on its own now. So you know how that goes.
Mm. Oh my, Sugar is so cute.
Sugar, are you cute? Are you cute? So remember, they're always talking. You just have to listen. That look on her face is it about time for me to get my beak patted?
Exactly.
That's the look.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. That's my beak has not been patted in ages.
You can see now she's moving over, getting in position.
Yep.
You're going to pet me now. So I'm going to pet Sugar, and we will see you guys next week. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And say goodbye, Sugar. Goodbye, Sugar.
Science knowledge only adds to the excitement, the mystery, and the awe of a flower.
Evidence is evidence. It's public. Everybody can look at the evidence and assess it, and eventually, if there's enough evidence, come to the same conclusion.
The Chloe Sanctuary for Parrots and Cockatoos, a nonprofit charity dedicated to the empowerment of captive parrots and public awareness.